The biggest mistake that the 90% of the company are doing is give all the information when they start talking with a new customer. So they give insight, information, because more my customers knows, better is for him to choose. No. The first one is our brain is able to save only the 5% of the environment we have around of us. If you're not able to fix the attention of your potential customers on the 5% of your product that is really important for them, it's absolutely impossible.
We all wanted to hear about value and price because I think the wine industry have a problem here.
It's about perception. Everything is about perception.
It's interesting because we're doing a lot of competition in wine and we're doing a lot of blind because you wanted to just evaluate the taste as a only thing building value for the customers. But if you tell me all this before the customer get to the taste, he already built the whole perception about the bottle of wine they're going to try. So they're not necessarily they buy the specific one for the taste, and then that's make a lot of sense.
Every time we are in front of a product, our brain needs 7 seconds to create an idea of the things we have in front of us. Once I grab your attention, if I want to persuade you to buy my product, I have to create an emotion. If one sound can change the perception of your product, what's the real value of your product?
Hi, Marco. Thank you so much for finally we actually get this time together to be able to talking about something we are very curious about. We're going to have so many questions today. So Marco is a specialist in neuroscience and neuromarketing, and he has a beautiful understanding what's happened not just in the rational side of the humans, but the irrational side of the humans. So that's is pretty much how your brain make decisions. Yeah, we don't make a decision on the rational brain, and there's something like lots of people like I guess more and more people talking about these days than the old days, but it's still a little bit mysterious still. So tell us a little bit about you first. um you are Italian, but you live in US. So tell how you change it and how you end up in this neuroscience industry.
Hi, Priscilla. Thank you for your invitation. It's a great pleasure to be here and talk about this topic with you and all the people that are following you. My name is Marco Baldocchi. I'm passionate for the triggers that nudge people to do something. My biggest question in my life is why we do something, why we choose a product instead of another. What is the reason that nudge us to grab that wine or grab that product instead of another? I'm Italian. I'm from Tuscany. I moved to United States a few years ago, starting my company there called Neuralysis. We do consumer neuroscience. Basically, we are the guys that try to figure out what's happening in the human mind and body when we have an experience, all the type of experience. Watching a video, surfing a website, watching a product, we are able to intercept all the world that is totally under the threshold of consciousness. And I can tell you, it's amazing. I started doing this job for a very crazy reason. I was in Italy and I decided to buy a car. I was passionate for snow, and that's not connected. That's amazing because now I'm living in Miami, so you can imagine how crazy is the brain of the human being. I love the snow, and now I'm living in Miami. Okay, I decided to buy a car. Was the Jeep Grand Cherokee because I really love the snow. But in my city, Lucca, the snow, we don't have snow during the winter. We have snow on the mountain close to our city. So every weekend in the winter, I went to skiing. But when I bought the car, it was amazing. I watched so many videos about this car. The feeling of safety that gave to the people this car when you are on the snow. Then I bought the car. I wait for the car, and I recognized that I had the snow for 1 month per year, 1 month and a half per year. All the other time was too big for the narrow street that we have in Tuscany. It was expensive to manage, and it was a very stupid car. So I started thinking, okay, why I bought this car? Why? What's the reason that nudged me to buy this car? And so I fell down in and they didn't figure out what is the neuroscience. That's the study of the unconscious processes that we have in our mind. When we talk about the human brain, it's very important to figure out how the human brain works. Because when we think about our customers, a lot of my customers, when I start my consultation, they say to me, Marco, we have an amazing product. But the issue is our customers are not able to recognize that our product is the best. And my observation is, okay, probably you are not talking the right way. You are not sending the right message, or you are doing it the wrong way. You are talking to their rational brain, but we are not rational animal. We are sensorial animal that sometimes rationalize our processes. Happens to everything. Sometimes to buy something and go back home and say, "Oh no, I had something similar," or "Why did I buy it?" or something like that. It's normal.
Many times happened that to me.
And in that moment, you find an answer. I bought this skirt because I don't know, I need it because I need another white shirt or something like that. I love the white shirts. I have tons of white shirts. Oh, every time I buy a new one, I say, no, but this is a little different. The buttons are different or something like that. No, it's another white shirt. So what's happened? Uh, Daniel Kahneman gave the best explanation of how our brain works, and he spoke about two systems: the system one and the system two. Imagine that the system one is the unconscious system that we use to react. So it's very we don't need to use mental energy to use the system one. It's reactive, it's very fast, it's not rational. It's the system that moves us to turn when we hear a noise or something like that. And the system two, that's the rational part of our thinking processes, is the system that we use to make a calculation, for example, or to read a text.
Learn a
It's
language, yeah. Takes
correct.
longer.
Or to receive complex information. When you read some information about a product, all the amazing specific text that you have, you use the system two. The system two needs energy. And the very crazy stuff is our brain is called cognitive miser because our brain doesn't like to spend energy. It's absolutely lazy. So we don't like to spend energy in doing stuff. An example, if you find on a website or wherever a long text with no paragraph, it's complicated to read because you know I have to read a lot. And your brain say, no, I don't want to do that. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Okay.
Stop, stop, stop. Yes.
If you if you separate that, if you cut the text in different paragraphs, it's absolutely easier. It's the same length, but it's absolutely easier. So our brain is it's amazing. So we wanna continuously saving energy. So it's like a dance between the irrational part and the rational part. We are not totally irrational, but we are not totally rational. So it's like a balance. It's like a dance. Okay, depends from what we are doing. If I have to buy $1 pen with a picture of my cat, probably I will use the 99% of the system one and the 1% of the system two. If I have to buy a Ferrari, probably I need to use the system two because I can calculate if I can afford that type of car. So it's very complicated. The biggest mistake that the 90% of the company are doing is give all the information when they start talking with a new customer. So they give insight, information, because more my customers knows, better is for him to choose. No. In that
Work like
way,
that.
in that way you are talking to the system two, not to the system one. So the cognitive load that you are giving to your potential customers is too high. And so people quit.
No, pay
We live in the
attention.
era,
This.
we live in the era of the social media. We scroll every few milliseconds. we don't have attention. The level of attention of the customers is cracked down in an incredible way. We really receive so many stimuli that our brain is not programmed for receiving all these stimuli. The dimension of our brain is the same, more or less, that we had when we live in the cave. But when we
Oh
live in the
wow.
cave, we have just to survive. We have just to check that there was no bear that tried to eat us, and we have just to eat something and to survive. Now, push notification, marketing messages, TV, radio, and all this stuff. So what's happened? Our brain
You're going on the
delete.
street as well. It's have a lot of these signs everywhere, and you get all what things to your eyes and your face, and it's a lot. It's really a lot, and I agree with you when you say that because I feel like you're overwhelmed with so many. Because everyone is actually helping business these days, and it's really becoming more and more fighting for attention since social media, and yeah, social media becoming oh, I can teach you how you can grow your followers. I can teach you that. I can teach you this. I can make your life easier by making your life like this. So you can be rich tomorrow. And going on and going on. And then plus the wineries wanted to go into wines and plus, have plenty different people to catch your attention, and you're living there and you're going to the street, it's polite, but it's like signs everywhere about business, it's a signs, it's like look at me at the hotel, this pub, this food, this restaurant, and all these signs on the way. And the petrol station have a beautiful, at least here in Australia, beautiful pie with a Coke, buy here, and they're going to be spending, going inside, having McDonald's, and having this and having that. Your eyes became, goodness, where I am. And I feel like sometimes today I have to meditate it to just be cautious about myself, my body, my mind, because your attentions go everywhere. It's very hard to keep the focus in one thing.
Mhm.
And I think if I feel like that, I'm sure there is a lot of people there who's feeling that overwhelmed, I guess.
Overwhelmed is the right word. How many times you see in advertising somewhere, social media or TV or any type of media, that is cool, and while you are watching, say, "Oh, that's cool. That's advertising, super cool." And then after 10 minutes, you remember the advertising, but you don't remember the brand behind the advertising because your brain it was not able to memorize all this information. So what's happened? We save only the information that are relevant for us. When we talk about consumer-centric marketing or all this amazing stuff, there is a scientific reason behind that. The scientific reason is our brain is not able to save all this information. So I save the information that are really important to me, not for the other people. Doesn't matter. So when you try since 1935 we are doing this, I don't know, we are producing this wine, doesn't matter to me, because if your grandfather was a good winemaker, your father was a good winemaker, it doesn't mean that you are a good winemaker, that your product is good. And especially it's not true that your wine is good for me. Okay, you are generation of wine producer, I'm happy for you. Doesn't matter, that's not the reason I buy your product.
Yeah.
Because what's the value for me? What's the need that you are satisfying? And here I want to talk about a very interesting stuff. When we often I had a lot of consultation, and I talk with tons of entrepreneurs, and it's super fun because then a lot of them, I don't want to use percentage, they are I don't want to offend no one, but a lot of them say, "Oh, customers don't understand my product. Probably it's a problem of label." And they say, "Hey, I want to give you some bad information. The first one is our brain is able to save only the 5% of the environment we have around of us. because from our eyes to our brain, we save, and our brain really see the 5% of the environment around me. So
I just
if you're not able to fix the attention of your potential customers on the 5% of your product that is really important for them, it's absolutely impossible. So in this moment, your 5% is concentrated on, I don't know, on the light behind me, your brain is not able to remember after our call if I have the brown eyes or if I have, I don't know, black eyes or if I have green eyes. So that's the reason, one of the bad news I gave to them. The second one is, okay, when you say I solve the needs of my customers, which need are you satisfying? Because we know the needs that we are able to share with others. That's the conscious need. I want to drink a wine. I have to go. I have a dinner with a friend of mine. I want to bring a bottle of wine. I want to bring a good bottle of wine. So
this is
it's connected
conscious.
with me. It's okay. And that's conscious. Then there is the unconscious need. And I want to make a very stupid example. Steve Jobs understood the unconscious need because he was a crazy genius, okay? And he figured out that the only thing very important for a smartphone was to reach all the part of the screen just moving one finger. Doesn't matter
That's
how
how they
many pixels,
come.
doesn't matter how many pixels the iPhone is, doesn't matter how long the battery works. But when the iPhone was created, all the user was able to touch all the screen just moving one finger without moving all the hands like we did before. I'm the
Yes.
97, I was born in 1978, so I remember the mobile phone before the iPhone. And if you remember, you need one phone to grab the phone and the other one to touch the button.
Yes, yes. I wasn't born a little bit after, but yes, but still, when it started with the phones, it was pretty much in use the two
Right,
hands.
right, 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 right. So he figured out and he changed the behavior of entire generation. And that's one of the reasons why the iPhone is the iPhone, and the reason why we pay more than $1,000 for a mobile phone. Is the real value? No, it's not. Technically, it's not. I was reading yesterday that Elon Musk is producing a new smartphone at the cost of like $3,300 or $200, probably with the same technology of the iPhone. So the real value of the iPhone is connected with the real cost of the iPhone. Absolutely not. And if you have time, I want to give you a short explanation about how our brain works, talking about value and talking about price. Because
We are
another
all
thing very
hear about
important,
this. We all wanted to hear about value and price because I think the wine industry have a problem here, and then it'll be very amazing for you to clarify that. Because the wine industry play the game, put the price very higher, minus price equal gain, but it doesn't work because if you don't put the value first and minus price equal gain, people don't get, you're gonna think you are so expensive in or
absolutely,
so, and that's the problem with the wine industry because the wine, well, we have a wine of different prices. We say like, oh, wine is expensive, but we have wines from 3 years, 2 years, 5 years to hundreds and thousand euros. So we have a very different range of prices. But the wine industry love it to say the my generation, Gen Z, don't drink wine because they can't afford. When you have wine from 5 euros available, 2 euros available, and also there is another thing as well about the price and value. We still when I have a $20, $30, people say like, oh, too expensive. So what's happened in the brain of someone when you have a wine more expensive, of course, like $50, $60, they say it's too expensive. Why they don't see value?
It's about perception. Everything is about perception. When we talk about the real value of a product, is the perception, the keyword. We don't think about, we have to, every time we are in front of a product, our brain needs 7 seconds to create an idea of the things we have in front of us. So in the first 7 seconds, the first time we spoke together, your brain in 7 seconds give you an insight. Marco is I want to work with Marco, don't want to work with Marco. Every time you are in front of a product, your brain give you, I want to try this product, I don't want to try this product, more or less in 7 seconds. That's the first idea that we are able to create. Consider that the irrational thinking are 200,000 times faster than the rational thinking. So the first thing that get your attention can be a detail, can be a small detail, can be a word, can be something. On a packaging can be an image, a detail that can grab your attention. Once I grab your attention, if I want to persuade you to buy my product, I have to create an emotion. Create an emotion could be curiosity, could be, it's not just, I don't know, hungry or happiness. We have more or less 100 emotions. So we can create the right emotion.
So it
Uh,
doesn't need to always be happy. It could be anything you're creating
correct,
with this.
correct.
So it's a lot of
Each,
variety.
every product have their emotion because they have to be aligned to the value of that product. And you can play with the emotion of your customers to let your product memorable. Because if all the brands work with happiness, you are just another one. So you have to work with another emotion. And we really have a lot of emotion. For example, jumping in another industry, if I talk about Rolex, Rolex play with the emotion of feeling superior all the time. That and I mean probably other wines that are very high level. So the perception that they give to you is if you drink this wine, you are superior to the other people because we are the best. We have an excellence. Okay, and that's an emotion. So getting the attention, create an emotion, and only then try to talk to the rational part of the human brain. About the perception. About the perception is very interesting, and and here we start talking about the bias. The bias is a shortcut that our brain use to find a solution. How do you know if a watermelon is ripe? Basically, all the people, all the world knock on the watermelon. It's normal. There is no scientific proof that a watermelon, a ripe watermelon sounds different from a not ripe one. Why we
Oh,
do that?
really?
Yeah, it's a bias. We try to find a solution using less energy as possible. And we reconnect with the cognitive measure before. So I want to tell you a story. Imagine you are working on your computer. You have a new article to write soon. Okay, so you don't have time, and your mouse stopped working. Very close to your house, you have a computer shop. So you go there, and the guy say, "Okay, I have the same mouse you have. It's $10, but I started a new shop 1 mile from here, and if you go there, the same mouse costs $5." And you say, "Hey, yes, it's the 50% discount. I want to go there. It's just 1 mile." And so you go there and you buy the same mouse for $5. And then you go back home. When you arrive at home, you start your laptop and it stopped working. It's not the best day ever. You go down to the same shop and the guy say, "Hey, I have the same computer of yours. It's $2,000. But if you go there, the other shop you remember is $1,995. And you say, "Hey, $5 to 2,000. No, I don't want to work again." And you buy there. But it's the same $5 for the same mile. In one occasion, it seems a lot. in one occasion, it seems a very small part, $5, 1 mile. That's an example of framing. Framing is one of the most powerful biases we have. When you place your product in an environment of other products, for example, you place your product with partnership with high quality other brands, your product is framed in that place. So the perceived value of your product is connected where the frame it's inside, not outside. It's just one. We have tons of biases. It's a very stupid story to let people understand easily how our brain works. If you are able to know the biases, you are able to use the biases, and it's not manipulating, it's nudging, it's convincing people, it's let people perceive the product in a different way. Only that you can do a marketing that really resonate. You can do a product development that can do. I live in the United States. We have tons of wine, and every time I'm a wine lover. I'm not an expert. But I'm Italian, so I think probably it's my
And from
DNA that being
Tuscany.
wine. I'm from Tuscany. Yes, correct. So, but every time I want to choose a wine, I understand exactly what's happening in my brain because I know how the brain works. And I'm able to predict which wine I can choose if I don't know any of them. And same thing with the people. Sometimes I stop there watching people choosing the wine. And sometimes I play with people around me, like my friends, say, hey, that girl will choose their wine. And say, how is possible you know that? Because I figure out what she's watching. It's her visual attention that has a path. And the crazy stuff, we are very similar. We are like human beings. We love to live in groups, and we are not like a single animal, like I don't know, the wolf. Okay, we love to live in a family, and so and we are very similar. So that's the reason why, for example, neuroscientific research that can be done on group of 20, 30 people, they can be a real photograph of the entire world. If you are able to choose the right group of people, and it's very important, you have to know who is your customer. When someone came to me and say, I want to sell my product to everyone, it's a disaster.
So,
It's a
yeah.
disaster because it's not possible because different type of people have different unconscious need. And you can't satisfy the unconscious need of all the people. So, for example, I want to connect with the iPhone example. I have a lot of friends of mine, they hate the iPhone.
I have
And I
lots of
have a lot of
haters.
people that love the iPhone.
I love
Why?
iPhone. My husband hated.
Correct.
Yes, yeah.
But
I
Apple
love iPhone.
probably,
My husband
yeah,
hates iPhone.
Apple probably doesn't try to talk to your husband because they are so smart. They say, okay, you don't like it, it's okay. I can be liked by everyone. So I want to talk. I prefer to talk to the people that are falling in love with my product because they can be my next, the next people that spread the voice, the
The
next
advocated,
ambassador.
the ambassadors, the
Correct.
advocated brand
If you
advocates.
try to use your iPhone without the cover, I don't know if you use a cover or not. If you try to use your iPhone without the cover, you perceive your iPhone more sexy. The touch of your iPhone is sexy. The material of your iPhone is sexy. If you use a cover, the perception of your iPhone change completely. It's only the touch. So you can imagine how it's important on a product like the wine, the material of the label, the material of the bottle. It's totally important. But sometimes I talk with people, they say, no, I have a great graphic, it's enough. No, the graphic is just one sense, the sight. But we have five senses. And to be honest, the very important one is probably the visual one, yes, but also the smell or the hearing when you, the weight of the bottle is very important, but we know that. So there are a lot of information, very, very important. We are emotional and we are sensorial animal. Also, when we choose a product, so more senses are you able to engage your customers, and more your product will be sexy, will be chosen, will be the best one. It's complicated, huh? It's a very crowded market. So you don't work, you can work to about the price. You have to work about the perception, and that's the real game.
But another thing as well is a bigger question. So I was reading an Illusion of Choice book. I haven't finished yet. It just started. But and then I started as well out alchemy from Roy as well. He took a lot of the problems we have in today in society. His psychology is not really logic. Like logic problem is literally like building a bridge or something like that. This is a logic problem. But lots of perception of the business goes well, going bad, and things like that. It's also even economies like money and up and down is all created by a psychological group of people, humans, creating inflations and things like that. After you start to learning all these things behind you started to learn lots of things happen in this society. It's literally created by us, but also psychological, including inflations and stuff like that, and like contractors and houses and buy houses is all about us creating a psychological system, like how it works, and we validate that. And money, it is something like that. So if you putting this in the different things, you actually can be able to understand since the beginning how the psychology and the rational irrational brain works so much in different ways beyond of product. But I don't want to. I just wanted to go in the beginning how I get in this. I learned as well on the books I have been reading. So when you have, for example, Dominion, Uber, and things like that, they never the problem they solved or the thinking they promoted was not necessarily they ride Uber or buy pizza. When you see the things, it just say like we get to 30 minutes your pizza home, you know. So there is a under unconscious we have been done doing that so well in the wine industry because we always say, buy your wine, look my wine is awesome, comes from the soil, from the climate, for blah blah blah. But if you say pizza, they don't Dominion, for example, one of the biggest brand, they don't say, coming to buy my pizza. They have ham, pineapple, cheese, mozzarella, blah blah blah. They don't say that. Yeah, right. Uber, Uber, the same thing. So they get in they did the app in your phone, and then now we can actually see the driver coming to pick you up because we always been so anxious to be home and call a taxi and didn't know what time the taxi is going to come. If I need to call the taxi an hour before or 2 hours before, 10 minutes before, 30 minutes before, we never know how long the taxi will take it to pick you up. And when you come with that crazy idea, you just get people in the car, people you have no idea who they are driving. Probably most people say that's crazy, but it worked very well globally wise. Everyone uses you, and I prefer to even secure because I have a system who knows where I am, where I'm going. They have this register of the people who has been driving me and things like that. But also, I know when I call Uber, they're gonna come in 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I know exactly how long I'm gonna take it. If in the middle of my makeup, I know if I how long I have to finish my makeup. You know, this is very important for me. And then we don't think about that when you actually promote your product or you use neuromarketing because we always want a product. Okay, I'm selling this pen. I'm gonna convince you buy this pen by tell about we use this plastic. It was a plastic from Japan, and then this this paint here, these blue things here was made in very clearly from Thailand and blah blah blah. But the real reason people's gonna buy this pen is because they need behind, because they want a writing or something, they unconscious, but not necessarily that. So do you think that's something the wine industry need to go in deeper on this kind of
Ab-
system, how it worked?
Absolutely. It's probably one of the industries that more need in this moment, especially for the period that this industry is living. In the United States, a lot of people, young guys, prefer drink cocktails or alcoholic, like I don't know, vodka or something similar instead of the wine. Why? Because it's not really important the material, it's not important all these detail. These details are important for the entrepreneurs, for the company, not for the customer. The customers are sensual, lazy, and egoist animal. So, I really love the human beings. It seems that I don't, but I really love the human. Okay. So the very
I love
important
you, but
thing is, so it's the very important thing is to communicate and to communicate the experience you can live with your product. When we talk about pizza, for example, if I tell you pizza, probably you don't think about pizza as moment just for eat something. Because if you want to eat something, probably you open your fridge and you eat something. But when I talk pizza, I can probably you can imagine sharing pizza with someone, with your husband, with your friends, with people. So it's a social moment. So pizza industry was able to create a concept behind the product. When we buy a car, we don't buy a car because we want that car, but because we find something in that car. We buy Tesla, it's the message that Tesla share, it's technology or whatever. If you buy, I don't know, Porsche, it's luxury, it's not the car. Because sometimes if you check only the price, it's not so important. When you buy a, for example, a luxury product from Italy, like Gucci, you never read somewhere made in Italy or which material they use. It's the perception that you have when you wear Gucci. If you go to Victoria's Secret is amazing for that. Victoria's Secret is 99% it's a mental game more than the product. It's about, and that they are amazing because they talk to two different publics. They talk to the women, you are beautiful wearing my products, and you feel beautiful. And to the man, your woman will be amazing if you give her this product. And it's not about the product because I don't know, I'm not an expert in lingerie, but probably they are not the best quality. I remember when I was in Italy, we had a amazing brand, quality amazing, but they are not so sexy like Victoria's Secret. Why Victoria's Secret is able to sell products, and the crazy stuff is doesn't matter if your body weight, your body shape. They give you the message you are sexier with
beautiful.
our product, and it's amazing. So they stop talking about the product. It's one of the issue that few industries, and one of these is the wine. You don't have to talk about your product. You don't have to talk about yourself. You don't have to talk about your, I don't know, the grapes of your product. Yes, they are important, but for a small group of people, they are very expert. Me and
Most
all my
people who work
friends,
in the wine industry.
right? Uh, Try to talk about. I met one guy. He's a genius. He's an oil producer and he created a product. I don't remember the name of the product. And when I met him, I say, "Hey, we get the olive from the trees only during the night when we have the full moon. Do you think that something changed if you get the oil from the trees when there is the full moon?" But the story behind that was amazing. I had my American friends say, "Oh my God, I want to try the olive oil because the influence of the moon when you pick up the other." The story was so sexy. The video with the field with all the olive trees and the moon that make everything bright, everything shining, and this guy with other people by hand getting the olives. Rationally, it's insane. Irrationally, is emotional, and this business work very well. And it was smart. He told me, Marco, probably it's the same if I do the same in the sunlight, if I do the same during the night. But I'm the only one that is selling olive oil pick up during the night when we have the full moon. That's a crazy example of how our brain works.
Yeah.
Our brain is complicated. Uh, when I told you about the system one, the system two, it's a simplification. No? We have a lot of different areas. For example, we have the limbic system that is connected with the emotional part of our experiences, and it's the faster one. So it's the first part that we activate. Then there is the rational part, like the prefrontal cortex, that it's the rational part and it's slower. So it's a dance. It's a dance. We have a lot of neurons activating every single moment, and we feel a lot of emotions. But very crazy stuff is we are not able to recognize all the emotion we are feeling. So when you have an experience, probably you feel 1 million emotion and you recognize 3 because the emotion have a duration of 200 milliseconds. But the rational part of our brain is not so fast. So when you have the sixth sense, I have a sixth sense. The sixth sense is translating in neuroscientific insight is some emotion that you are not able to rationalize, but that you perceive. You perceive something, but it's not rational clear. So you have the sixth sense. Some industry have to work with this sixth sense. Some industry have to work with the smell. The smell is a real, very powerful tool. The 75 of the things that we call taste is smell. So you can imagine how it could be important.
75 is actually smell.
Right. That's the reason why during the COVID we didn't perceive the taste of the product because we have we don't have smell. Okay. If you try to eat chocolate like this, please try to don't die. I don't want to be the okay, you have to try to eat chocolate like that. There is no taste. There is absolutely no taste. It's crazy. I invite you to try. And so the very important thing is to try to talk to try to figure out what is the unconscious need that your product can satisfy and what's really the difference from your product to other products, but for your customer, not for you. And when you got this information, you have to create a message, to craft a message that resonates in the right part of the human brain. It seems complicated, say like that, and it's not easy, but especially now, and especially in industry very crowded like the wine, it's mandatory. People don't react to your stimuli. If you have a meta marketing campaign, probably you recognize that 5 years ago you had some results and now you have worse results. Marketing standards stop working. Why? Due to all the stimuli we are receiving. So our brain is stuck there and we reconnect with the things we said before. And so we are not able to memorize. How many times you drive from home to your office, you arrive to your office and you don't remember the way. You don't remember nothing. And you just like an automa, like a robot, like okay. But you did everything good. Why? You deactivate the system two and you use just the system one. So you didn't kill no one, you stopped the right traffic light, but you don't remember. You arrive at the office, say, hey, why? Because it's the same path you do every single day. It's automatic. And so your brain say, okay, I can relax. Give me like 10 minutes of
20
relax.
seconds.
Don't want, right. I don't want to spend energy. So it's very important that people perceive the change of the human being before the change of the market. Our customers are changed. not the market. That's the reason why a product stop working or another product work better. There is a wine that works great, and I don't know if the quality is good or not, but they create an engaging packaging thanks to the augmented reality. Doesn't matter if the product is good or not. In the United States, the customers buy that product because it's cool.
19 Crimes was pretty much one of
Correct.
them.
Correct. Yeah, and I'm not the person. I don't have knowledge to say if it's a good wine or not. I don't want to go in that way,
Edgy.
but
Yeah.
to tell people that they create something different. And they were smart because they started with the mobile application. Then they figure out that people don't want to download the mobile application just to play with a bottle of wine. So they turn in um, web augmented reality. My company does this type of products. We work with augmented reality as well. And these techniques, this technology, we have this technology like for 15 years, probably. I remember Pokemon Go when the guys going trying to catch the Pokemon. That guy say, okay, I want to use this technology for my company branding. And the 95% of their position of the market is due to that. I lived the experience with my and personally when a friend of mine came to me and said, "Hey Marco, take a look. That's cool. That's Snoop Dogg talking with us." It doesn't matter if the wine was good or not. Doesn't matter if it was from Italy or whatever. When my friends came to my house, they know I'm Italian, so they pay attention with the wine. They don't they basically. But this guy was super cool because came to me, "Hey, that's cool." Okay. And when he told me, well, then we opened the bottle and he say, "Oh, but it's not bad, like wine, blah blah." I'm sure that the 95% of his perception was about the experience, because there is another crazy study. Um, our brain is able to change the perception about the product we are tasting with all the other senses. So if you perceive, I don't know, if you like the bottle, if you like the label, probably your brain perceives that wine better than if you drink the same wine without watching the label. And there is a lot of researches about that, about the wine with the cork or the screw cap or something like that. People perceive differently wine if they have a cork or not. If they perceive the sound of opening a bottle with a screw cap or with the cork. And the crazy stuff is not they say with the cork the wine is better, but their brain, the activation of the rewards part of their brain was better when they think that the wine was with a cork and it was the same wine. So only
Right. Yeah. I read that the research.
sound,
Yeah.
only one sound change the perception of the product. So you can imagine. So based on that, what's the real value of a product? If one sound can change the perception of your product, what's the real value of your product?
It's not the tasty then, because that's a myth then. If that's the label before, the corky before, we create all the perception, the taste comes as at the end. It just is to say yes for everything you're already building before. So if you building the whole reality in your mind, the taste is just to confirm the reality is true. It's pretty
Correct.
much like the last. And it's interesting because we're doing a lot of competition in wine, and we're doing a lot of blind because we wanted to just evaluate the taste as a only thing building value for the customers. But if you tell me all these before the customer get to the taste, he already built the whole perception about the bottle of wine they're going to try. So they're not necessarily they buy the specific one for the taste. And then that's make a lot of sense, because when you make a blind tasting with consumers and then show. And I think it was the article you just wrote for us. And it showed the same wine. I mean, they're telling them this is a price and this is this another price. He said the same wine. Then naturally they think the one is more expensive. It's more, it's having better quality, but not necessary because they are the same wine. And then they have done this in so many ways. Like Audi did that as well, and then went to and in UK they went to one of these parties in UK where you have a lot of events people, and then put all the Audi wines. Yeah, Audi selling wine is from 5 6 years, like very cheap. But it was telling them it was like this is expensive wine, blah blah blah, and it was serving the wine to the people, and the people was trying. It's like, oh my god, this is so beautiful. How much you pay that? I pay 30, 40 years, 60 years. I don't know exactly the price. I'm just giving the numbers. I know the story, but the numbers I didn't memorize it. And then it's like, oh, this is 5 years and an Audi, you know, and then, and they put like a merchant, so they dress up well, then the blah, 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 even, and then people create the perception because they, where they were, the location, the place, where the wine cell was, and then what they told them, they create a perception that the wine is going to be more expensive. So they never create that perception was. So it's a very hard because in the wine industry they think the taste is everything, but it's not. It's a lot of steps before we get the taste, and it tastes good. The people who drink it need to like it, but it's one part of the puzzle. It's not the puzzle. I guess.
And the perception of the quality can change thanks to the other details. My suggestion to the wine industry is to make examples from other industry. If you buy a luxury car, one of the things, the most important thing is the sound when you close the door. If you listen to the new luxury car when they close the door, it's like a poof. If you remember when you were young, the very old car was very metallic. Now the car, when you close the door, they are not metallic, they are soft. When you close the door of a luxury car, you have the perception of luxury. Doesn't matter if it's true or not, but they study, thanks to the neuroscience, this trigger. It's a trigger. When you create a marketing campaign, you can trigger people thanks to the sounds, for example. I work with some company in the wine industry, and I talk with their marketing agencies or something like that. They already have their marketing agency, so we talk with them and we give suggestion how to improve. I never see one video about the socializing moment of drinking the wine. All the videos were product centric. They have to talk about the product. They have to show a video with the bottle or someone that's putting the bottle in a glass with the wine that having this beautiful movement. Doesn't matter. It's a wine. It's not me. I want to imagine myself drinking wine on a boat with my wife or my friends and living and imagining the experience I can have with your product. Your product is uh, just a tool I need to reach my experience. It's not the final goal. You are not so important. Sometimes when I have my first approach, probably some of my customers hate me because they say, "Hey, you are not so important. You are
Your
part
cast
of
is
you."
important.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's a lesson that I took from probably from my wife. But I mean, you are not so important. The important thing is how you let me feel, not you. We are really egoist animal, and the things that we are egoist animal, it's based on when we have to choose the red fruit on the plants when we live in the caves. We have just to survive. We have just to survive. So if I was smarter than you, and if you were smarter than me, and you were able to get the best fruit, you got the best fruit and you eat the best fruit in front of me, and doesn't matter because you have to survive. If you eat the best fruit, you survive. If not, you die. And that's in our brain. It's an imprinting in our brain. And that's the way people behave every single day when they buy something. They don't buy because you are good or because they buy because you give them a perception of something.
The perception they are good, they are happy, or they are such, they are good for the
Or they
family,
are
they are
part, or they are part of a group, a small
group.
group. I have a very good friend of mine. He came to Miami and they say, "Oh, I bought a bottle of, I don't remember, Sassicaia or something like that." They say, "Hey, it was very expensive." I say, "Yeah, if you think to buy Sassicaia in the United States and it's not expensive, you're not a great wine lover, okay?" But they ask him, "Why Sassicaia? Why Sassicaia in Miami? It's insane. You're Italian. You can buy the same wine in Italy. It's in Italy. It's expensive, but cheaper than the United States. Why you buy Sassicaia in the United States?" And he told me, "Oh, because it was with the good customers. I have to show them that I can do that, blah, blah." So it's to let people imagine something about you, is to be part of a group that can have the money to do that and something like that. So what about the wine? What's the connection with the wine? Why Sassicaia instead of another one? Just because it was expensive in this case. And you have to show that he can go to that restaurant. He can go and buy the wine. The wine doesn't matter. Could be Sassicaia, could be a champagne, could be another one. The only thing is they have to be expensive in that case.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's very important to figure out what my product have that make different from the others. And then how I can let people experience that. Because I don't have to tell you. It's like when you like a woman, you can go there and say, "Hey, do you wanna like create a family with me? Have like three kids or something like that?" No, the first thing is say, "Oh, you have beautiful eyes. Why don't we have a dinner together?" No, it's
The same
sometimes
thing.
things are easy. Yeah, it's the thing. It's like companies
Like the
have
analogy,
conversations.
amazing analogy.
Yeah, yeah. It's but if you imagine when you read all the information that the company gives to you, it's like if one guy came to you, never see, never meet, like your neighbors, and say, "Okay, I wanna have 3 kids from you. I wanna have one dog, 2 cats." And he was there, say, "Hey, what do you think? I don't know your name." It's the same. Don't give me all this information. They're too much. Try to seduce me. Try to create a relationship with me. We have to think easy. Our brain is easy. We don't have to try to marry a woman the first time that you met her. It's the same thing. You can't tell everything to your customers the first look you gave to your bottle. They are not ready for all this information. I mean, this example probably I will use. I don't know why I have this idea. I never use this example, but I will use this example. It's amazing.
I think it's amazing because you're exactly right. You're not going out with someone and they give you all the
It's
information and
true.
say like, "Oh, I did this, I did that, and blah 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 blah." And I wanted this with you, by the way. I want to marry. I wanted two cats. I want to do a dog. I want to like. I was like, "Oh, okay." You know, it was gonna be like. I think it's quite a lot. Like, but we do lots of that, like that in the wine industry. People come to the winery, and we think they know about us. It's because they come to us and kind of know about me. So we give you a master class about us. But that's just something we needed to try to adapt it to the next level, because I think that people today wanted to know about them. They wanted to discover themselves. They wanted something to be part of their lifestyle. And then that's pretty much what we need to change for this product centric to customer centric. And more when you live in this decentralization information where have different communities thinking and talking, and then validate what the other think, it's almost impossible to target everybody, or to be everybody be your customers. It's not, it's a very difficult to moving forward on this generation, the
Right.
next era, thinking product when consumers, you said that in the beginning, I think I was just coming back, you said it is needed, consumer centric. It's the next to go. It's not a way for business going forward without the consumer centric. It's because that's what's happened already happening right now, and the business not
Right.
adapting is leaving out, they're leaving behind.
Right. And there is another interesting thing. It's about the social differences. If you try to sell your product in different countries, you have to figure out that people have a different perception. If you try to sell your Italian wine in the United States, probably you have to face new challenges due to the social influences that we have. We are sensorial animal. We are influenced by all the environment around us. So it's very important to consider that. When I see people that have one product and they try to sell the same product with the same communication without understanding the public in the other countries, I mean, it's complicated. When I say my job is to help people to try to talk to the people in the right way, it's right. It's like if I'm a translator, you came to me and you want to talk to, I don't know, to you're a university former and you enter in a 6 years old classes of elementary, you can't talk with the same language because they are not able to understand. It's like I were here talking about a synapses or I don't know, amygdala or something like that. Probably in 5 minutes, your listeners say, "Oh, so boring, this guy." Okay, but if I do an example that is real, that is concrete for you, like the woman before or wherever, it's easier to understand. So basically, I align the value of the company and the product of the company to the right language, and we help companies in figure out the unconscious need of their customers in the different areas of the world, because could be very different. I work with a lot of European companies that sell their products in the United States, and we do our analysis. And our analysis is not like so expensive, like the only Disney or Coca-Cola can have for. And one of these company was amazing because told me, Marco, I never think of this stuff about my product. And with all the qualitative research we did, we never figure out this detail, and could be the best detail ever because it helps a lot to sell our products.
Wow.
And it was a
Wow.
very small detail because we choose things thanks to small details. It's not the biggest thing, it's the small details. And if you think
Details.
about ourselves, when we buy something, it's about that. In that case, was a food and beverage industry. They try to sell products in the United States. We use the facial coding because in 1940, Paul Ekman figured out that people from different areas of the world have the same microexpression in front of connected with the same emotion. The microexpression have a duration of 35 milliseconds. And thanks to a camera, we are able to read 100 emotion, 98 to be exact, and plus stress and cognitive load. And so we analyze people watching the product for 10 seconds, connected with the 7 seconds. So I read the first impression. They taste the product, and we analyze their emotion during these two phases. And we figure out that a tomato puree create disgust. And another tomato puree, no. What's the difference? The difference was the one was too fluid. So I saw American people got the bottle, this movement, and when they saw it was very fluid, they unconsciously feel disgust. So I went to that company and say, don't try to sell this product in the United States. Then we did another analysis based on the perceived price. How many people are unconsciously want to buy my product, and what's the perceived price about this product? And we use different techniques called the implicit association time test. It's a test that connected a stimuli, in that case the product, with an enhancer. Imagine that you are watching the Gucci logo and you have two buttons, expensive or cheap. Obviously, you click on expensive in few milliseconds. So we analyze the reaction and the time of reaction. Because based on system 1 and system 2, if you react very fast, under 250 milliseconds, your brain is not able to activate the rational part. So the answer you gave me is absolutely true for you. It's a good answer. So we did this analysis and we figured out that there were products that they think to sell to $3, and Americans want to buy that product for $9.
Not even they couldn't charge you more than what they
Right.
expect.
They can sell easily that product for $7 and they can sell them easily. But one thing is to think to sell one product for $3. One thing is to sell the same product for $7, and you have a margin more. So for the perception of American was a good deal, also for $6, $7, but it was the double. The
So
opposite.
how do you do this? Do you actually taking people from USC to be able to play that game? So that's how you do research with people just to get that thing. So or you how worked it? Like I'm curious now.
We when a company came to us, they say, okay, Mark, I want to analyze this perception of this product in these cities. In this case was Los Angeles, Dallas, and New York. We organize, and they tell me, Marco, my customers is 25 to 50 years old men. They are manager, they are blah, 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 blah. And they gave me one or two or three publics. Okay. Then we do a requirement of these people. We pay them to come in a room and do our test for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, more or less. We use our technology. So we organize like 1 week test each city. And we got all the insight, all the information. We clean the data and we give a report to the company. And our report is not only the 90% says this product is, but we give practical insight. I found a product that when they see the product, they don't want to buy the product. Only 53% want to buy the product. When they taste the product, the 97% want to buy the product. So I give them insight how to change the packaging to make it more sexy for Americans. It's an Italian product. The packaging was amazing for Italy, totally wrong for the United States. So we gave them all the insight how to change, because the biggest issue in my industry is not to be theoretical. It has to be practical.
Practical.
I want to give insight for my customers that if they can apply tomorrow, they can see the changes in few days. Is the magic wand? No, obviously. Otherwise, now I can see me in an island or somewhere like with a margarita. But um, it's a science-based way to analyze the perception of your product. And I help companies in save money, because if you enter in the wrong market with the wrong product, or with a good product but with the wrong story about your product, you waste a lot of money. Now what's happened? They have a distributor, they do events, they do tasting, they have their marketing campaign on social media or Google Ads, and they spend money. After a few months, they sit on a chair and say, okay, let me read the numbers. Oh, the numbers are not good. The wine industry is not the best one. No, you can prevent everything. You can predict everything. You can do a small investment before to save a lot of money after. It's super easy.
No, I don't want to take so much of your time because I know we're very busy and I know we have so many things to do your day. We can spend about the 1 hour. We're very grateful for your time. I just wanted to you to finalize this podcast. I wanted to you to give your three final advices for us as a wine community, wine professionals, CEOs, business owners, practical. How the
Practical.
practical advices we can do, little things we can do today to a better experience it with the people who come in to visit us or on the social media, or because you I know you're not wine expert, you're not neuroscience expert, and you sharing a lot of your knowledge inside of the wine industry. Thank you so much. But what do you see inside of the wine already, and in your experience, because you worked with some wineries in Napa, um, tell us like what you saw, how improved, and how some people with the very minor things they can do do like in the
Hmm.
everyday stuff, very practical, then can actually enhance the experience. Because I think there's something the experience is not talking with everybody. It's a very small amount of people who is interested in the wine. The experience is just for that little. How we can actually improve ourselves for and for to be more open and get more people coming, to the wine industry drink wine. So what we can do?
The first one is to, for example, we can start from the sensory side of the marketing. When you create a video, try to don't add music to your videos. Okay, all the videos have beautiful music, useless. Or try to mix the music with the sound that the people can perceive if they live the experience. You want to show your product area, you want to show your company, you have visits, okay. Let people perceive the sound. I don't know, the door. If you have a oak door that is noisy when you open, let them hear the noise. Let them hear the noise of the bottle when you open. Let them hear the noise of the wind in the winery or something like that. Let people perceive the noise that they can real live when they have the experience. It happens also in the movies. Sometimes you have a movie with a beautiful music, and then the guy start doing the coffee, and you hear the noise of the coffee machine, and automatically your brain project you inside the movie because your brain say, oh, I know that noise, I know that sound. So try to create an experience that in any way could be connected with something they already experienced. Suggestion number two: stop thinking about yourself and start thinking about their needs. Try to figure out what is the need that you can really satisfy, and try to figure out, imagine really your marketing message, and try to imagine that only the 5% is the part that your customers is able to see. Which part of your message it's really relevant for them? So probably you start cutting a lot of information you wrote. My grandfather called Piero, started my business. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Okay. So, and try to cut them. And remember that we are egoist and lazy animal. Create a message that can be fluent, easy. Don't use complicated words to let people know that you are good in writing, that you are good, you have a good knowledge, you are sophisticated. Doesn't matter. Also, the very high-handed customers are lazy and egoist. So they don't want to uh, use too many energy. It's have to be easy. And especially who has a lot of money want to have everything super easy because they are used to. If you live in a high level life, everything is easy for you. So you don't want to think too much about that. And I mean, sometimes my suggestion is try to simplify. Try to simplify. When I see graphic, or when I see videos, or when I see label very complicated, very remember that we don't need all this complication. We try to figure out how to reach the goal using less cognitive energy as possible.
Amazing. I like so much because I didn't know about that music stuff. It's a very good one. Like, oh, I'm probably gonna use that one. And the 5% is amazing as well because we sometimes have so much to talk, but how we can talk to make everything in the 5%. So that's how we can catch
Wha-
the 7-second attention. You told us this week. I'm very good with the learn
wanna
everything today. You said to me.
wanna
The
bet that
5%, the
probably
7 second attention.
right, probably our listener of all these hour we talk together, will remember about the comparison between approaching a woman and approaching a product more than the other. That's yes, that's the conundrum. That's the things, and probably it's the thing that I will bring with them after viewing or listening this podcast. And it's super cool because it's when they will share with other fans, probably they say, "Oh, I listened to a neuroscientific guy that say this stuff," because in all the things, our brain save just a small part. And I hope
Yeah.
that that example could be useful for them to make something different.
Yeah.
Ah,
Thank you so much, Marco.
the last small advice, if your competitor do something, don't do the same. Absolutely
Yes.
don't do the same. People don't like the same thing. Be unique. Try to find the things that make you unique and go straight. It's complicated. Yes, it is. When I started doing consumer neuroscience, all the people say me, you are crazy. When I start doing consumer neuroscience in food and beverage, people say you are twice crazy.
We're crazy.
Yes, you're totally crazy. Now the same people came to me and pay me for consultation.
Yeah. That's good. I think doing crazy things is a great way to think because I think the wine industry people keeping calling me crazy. So I guess we're on the same path,
You know,
Marco.
you know.
Hi, I was a very enjoyable conversation, Mark. I have a lot of philosophy and a lot of learned as well. It was a very good advice. It's very good to explain a little bit more time because with a newsletter, we can't really go in that deep how the well, we never go that deep with how our brain works because it was so complex. But you make so easy for us to understand the system one, the system two, and I think that's all the parts you're putting together. And then more for the value and price as well. I love the analogy you do it with the mouse and with the computer, the prices. You make everything to be very relatable and very easy to understand how your brain perceives things. And when you was telling the story, it was like, yeah, of course, if it's $2,000 and $5 a difference, of course I'm not gonna making difference. But if it's a mouse, it's $10. That's me. I literally unconsciously I was doing that. And now I'm gonna pay attention to myself and it's like, well, you know, it's $5, the same number. It doesn't change the number. The two number is the same, but that is pretty much how we frame it. A lot of the things he was telling me was like, oh my god, yeah, I'm doing that. Oh my god, yeah, I love iPhone. My husband hates it. So I actually took it all your advices and stories to my story. You're making me feel like you understand myself and that for that I think you're very good to explain to be able to advise to be able to talking about your things. I think this is amazing. You're very relatable, you're making very practical. I can easily understand in my brain, so it was very good chat. I really enjoyed that. So I just want to say thank you. If it was for me for like that, I guess for a lot of the guests this is going to listen to this podcast probably going to enjoy a lot. And it's just thank you so much. We may need to do a second one or third one because there's a lot of things to questions and about neuroscience. Let's see how you go. But thank you so much for this collaboration with Rethinking the Wine Industry. We're very grateful for you be part of your community, and hopefully that we can understand the brain better, so we can actually enhance the experience in the wine industry, and hopefully that change the decline situation we are all at now for a better understanding what the different pieces we can building together for making this muscle much more stronger for the next era of the wine industry. Thank you so much, Marco. Thank you.
Thank you, Priscilla. It's amazing to collaborate with you and work in this industry. I really love this industry. And you say a very relevant thing. You say you were able to connect some example with myself. It's the same thing that the wine brand have to do to connect their message with their customers. In the same way, I let you feel I did the same, or my husband do the same, or something like that. That's the way. That's the way to communicate. That's the way to create a connection between human beings or between a brand and a human being. So thank you so much for this opportunity to talk about consumer neuroscience and The last thing I want to say, we are not rational animal. We are emotional animal that sometimes we rationalize.
I love that.